At the time of elections, political parties aspiring to win power through the ballot box are used to making attractive promises to the people. Considering that the new party was hastily formed by the alliance of the number of political parties with few common ideas or interests, except to end the present difficulty and restore the rule of law, the promises made by that party were exceptionally many and varied. Important among them was the promise to provide employment to all by 10 years. Being the largest working democracy in the world, the ordinary people of India have by now got used to such promises and have learned to take them in course of time. That they voted in great numbers for the new party does not therefore mean that they seriously believed these promises, although it is only natural that many would have harbored a faint hope that some of these promises may be partly fulfilled. Usually, political parties which win elections show no great hurry to remind the people of their promises. The new party was, however, exceptionally forthcoming in this regard, and months after attaining power actually chose to repeat the promise of full employment on more than one occasion. Perhaps this was done as a substitute for insufficient concrete action, and to that extent is understandable. What is much less understandable is that the Planning Commission, which one expects to be a body fairly immune from the making for current popularity, should have held out even more rosy hopes on employment. For the draft of the 5-year plan, which purports to come out of serious and careful study, actually goes further than the election promise and holds out the prospect that by the end of 5 years unemployment would virtually stand abolished. They said that if the plans of investment and production are fully implemented, it is estimated that more employment opportunities would be created within the plan period. Several estimates emanating from official sources put down the unemployment at less than 2 crores. If this were so, the generation of nearly 5 crores man-years and employment should absorb the additions to the labor force. In fact, one would expect further that serious labor shortages would begin to emerge in 2 or 3 years' time. It is the general experience everywhere that when unemployment is less than 2 or 3% of the labor force, shortages appear in many sectors because it is virtually impossible to ensure that the nature of the additional demand for labor exactly matches the kind of labor on offer for employment. In fact, in some of the developed countries which suffer from high unemployment, there are even today many jobs for which local people are not available and have to be taken by immigrants from other countries. There is no reason to think that in India there is likely to be any closer matching of the supply and demand for labor. There is of course no serious probability that anything of this kind will happen. There are certain other conditions which have not been equally brought out. They relate to the assumption about the employment generation capacity of the various types of investment and production activity included in the plan. The Planning Commission must have no doubt worked out these relationships in detail. Otherwise, it would not have been possible to estimate with such fine accuracy that the generation of employment in construction and services would be so much. But what these relationships are has nowhere been explained, perhaps in the belief that such unpleasant issues of the planning process would not be of interest to the general public. To the Director General of Supplies and Disposals, Netaji Road, Calcutta. Dear Sir, in response to your letter of last month, we are sorry to inform you that we cannot undertake the responsibility of accepting your suggestions with regard to the machine. We are, however, willing to execute the repairs to the best of our ability and on the lowest terms and conditions possible. But as we have already informed in our last letter, the methods you propose would be attended to with great risk to the operator. If you decide to leave the matter to us, you might inform us by return of post, and we will put the work in hand at once so as to be able to dispatch the machine by goods train on Monday next. We need hardly say that we pay the best price for all the materials we use, and we guarantee them to be of the best quality obtainable. Referring to your letter of last week, we have done our best to encourage the carriers to quote special rates for the goods consigned to you, but they decline to make any reduction on ordinary rates unless the traffic is considerably increased. With reference to our statement of account for the last quarter, we invite your kind attention to the fact that the balance due to us has not yet been received, and we will thank you for a check. Yours faithfully.